Hello, out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to the Extreme Stream with Real Crypto. Bitcoin up 2%. Bitcoin did not want to fall. Ripple. Anybody watching the Extreme Stream? The Extreme Stream! No? Alright, let's just look at charts. Alright, live chart looking. Qtum up 5%. NEO up 3%. Yeah, NEO did not want it to go down to this head and shoulders, so it looks like they were seeing it poised for a breakdown that did not take place, and so looks like Zcash has some interest here. That's kind of healthy. It's pretty healthy there in Zcash. Ripple had a big run up. Ripple was up almost 10% at one point. Where are you? So still pointing higher here. Ripple's still pointing higher. And 5%. Zcash 5%. Ooh, Stellar up 20%. I think yesterday you had a day too. Stellar, some good volume here. We kind of have is there for a good run. What else do we see here? Few things in red. Looks like EOS is up 2%. Good for EOS. Baby steps, EOS. Baby steps. Big baby steps, EOS. This thing has just been beaten down in the dirt. Talk about trying to pick a low in EOS. That's been very difficult. Pivx, Navcoin. Let's look at Navcoin. Let's look at Navcoin. Someone's been asking me to look at Navcoin. I apologize, I have not looked at Navcoin. Seeing down here at a low, kind of towards this prior high. Not looking super great. Let's see if anyone's in the chat. There's people in the chat now. Hello. XRP released some new thing. I like new things. NEO and the head and shoulders. The head and shoulders on NEO pretty much is negated at this point. So not every chart pattern works out, and this is one of those cases, which is good because it means the market isn't extraordinarily weak. But the head and shoulders in NEO has pretty much been negated at this point. We broke below the neckline in this head and shoulders, and now we're kind of we bounce back up. The only thing that could hurt us here is if we have a double head and shoulders, although there's no double head, there's just two shoulders. But, you know, overall here it looks pretty good. Volume came in, increasing on volume. This breakdown beneath the neckline was actually on decreasing volume. Volume never did come into play, and then it reversed higher. So that's bullish for NEO. Bullish for NEO doesn't mean we go straight up, just means that we probably don't go down. Qtum perhaps in the breakout. Yes, I was looking at Qtum a second ago. It's forming a larger pattern, kind of a larger consolidation, looking at a W type of a pattern here now. Your buy would be above this high. Your buy would be above this high at the 28, 29 level. Or 29 level, basically. You're already in 28. So, but yeah, that could work. Does anyone know if Qtum actually did their swap yet? IOP, yeah, Ian, IOP never came to pass. We talked about you only buy on the breakout, and that's why you only buy on the breakout. So let's go down and look at IOP. Yeah, I was a little sad to see that. That's why you can't get in these things early. You have to wait for them to. We were talking about 550. You have to wait for it to definitively break out over 550. Doesn't mean we still don't get there. Doesn't mean we still don't have a breakout. That is a possibility. In fact, you can actually lower this trend line a little bit and we're kind of still in the mix here. So we'll have to see what happens. Just kind of have to see what happens. If you point this point with this point, and we're just chopping around this trend line still. Vlad, Extreme Stream, hello, how you doing? Test day equals best day. Why is that? Test day? What do you mean? Gonna hold until something else looks amazing. Well, make sure you have a stop point in mind, Ian, so you don't get holditis, if you will. You know, you can't hope things are going to go higher. They have to look good. If you guys caught my video last night, I wasn't really enthused with the market yesterday, so I thought I'd do something different and talk about patience. I feel that's something that a lot of people don't really have in this marketplace, is patience. So I want to do that video on patience, and that's where that comes in. I mean, is because if you don't have patience with letting this thing break out or fail, then you can be in trouble, and that's what leads to over trading. That's not a good thing. It's like ARK's up 5%. See what ARK is doing. A little bit of volume, nothing crazy. A little bit of volume. Would like to see a lot more volume. Looks like we've broken this trend line here. Yeah, ARK's just floundering about. I mean, this is kind of just a big topping pattern. It's just floundering around. I'm not super enthused with it. Verge. ARK is not a breakout, by the way. A breakout would be breaking out in this. Break over this would be a breakout. This would be a breakout out of a nice consolidation. Take a look at Verge. Not my favorite down here. Not my favorite down here. If you like to bottom trade, maybe it finds support maybe it finds support here at this level. So maybe you can take a trade there. But you have a natural stop at the sixth level here. So 60,000, 100,000 Satoshis, whatever. Man, that's just brutal. Yeah, maybe this goes higher from here. You never know. But it is stair-stepping lower. Looks like it tried to stair-step lower and it stopped, so maybe you're reversing here. That could be a possibility. No volume to speak of, so I'm not super interested in that. Golem, we don't do a lot of Golem. GNT for Golem. Let's take a look at this one. That's because there's not really much happening with Golem. It's just sitting here floundering. So Golem would be a nice coin to keep an eye on. And if this thing pops on you, wait for a consolidation and then wait for it to go again, because that could be a pretty decent run. People will forget about coins like this that just go flat and do nothing, and those are the ones that make some pretty big runs. So I would definitely keep an eye on Golem, but it is not tradable at this point. OMG. So Mark, if you're new to the channel, we've been talking about OMG. Has pretty much been in a void for quite some time. The main reason being that it's had about a 2,500% run up since its ICO, and it's in a larger pattern now where it's just consolidating that movement. It's just going to do crazy weird stuff. It's not really a tradable coin at this moment in time. You can get some. So let me rephrase that. It's not like a holdable. It's not good for swing trading. You can maybe make a trade out of it, but you have to be very selective with your entries and very quick with your stops, because so here you kind of have a nice declining trend line. This is something you could maybe trade off of this. If it breaks this trend line, maybe you can trade this to the upside. It starts to wear out at about 11 to 1150 here recently. You've seen that. So, but still, that's not, like, say it breaks here. That's not bad for a trade up to 11. That's 22%. 1150 would be about 25-30%. So, yeah, 27.5%. There's some good trades to be had, but you're not going to get 100% move in Omisego. Not for a little bit. XLM. What's XLM? Lumens. Let's look at Lumens. Oh, there's a move. There's a move. So there's a declining trend line right here. that if you were watching this with some nice volume, you could have got in on that and then had a nice trade here. That's really nice. Yep, so there's your declining trend line break. There's your declining trend line break right there. That would have been a great entry. It's a little high here. I personally won't be getting in at this point in time. I will get in off of some kind of a consolidation. Yeah, to be up 25% if you would have followed that trend line break right there. That's phenomenal. So it looks like the last time we looked at Lumen, it kind of had this upward channel here, which it did break to the downside. Then it reversed, and then went up and consolidated. So this is a very good entry right down here. Up here, it's a little bit extended. Let's zoom out to the 4-hour on Lumen. Then maybe we'll look at the 1-day. Okay. Bit of reversal. Okay, so we do have a nice huge pop on Lumen. That's a big move up. That's like 1,000+%, 1,500%. So it looks like Lumen's had a few pops in the past. One here, and now this one. So we'll kind of have to see what it does. So this pop was the first up thrust from this off of this downward break from this channel, and then now, so yeah, this is pretty bullish looking here. So let's draw some trend lines. This may or may not be a valid trend line. It just looks like a trend line, and it actually pretty much coincides with that other trend line almost exactly. So that's a very good buy point on this one. Yeah, so not bad. Not too bad. Again, buying up here could be a little bit risky. You could pull back, but this is a pretty nice little reversal pattern here. It's nothing like a inverse head and shoulders. It's nothing really definitive, but it does show a series of higher lows, which is good, and we have higher highs in place as well. So it looks like we're reversing from this downtrend to an uptrend, and this could be good for something. The Ichimoku Cloud, I don't use it. I don't use it. So Mark, yeah, you're not new to the channel. Omisego was predictable until it became unpredictable, and that's actually called a change in behavior. When coins change behavior, you need to learn that and heed that. That could be a warning or a good sign, depending if a coin has been trading horribly and then it's leading, and then it starts leading really well, like IOP, right? Like IOP. That's a good change in behavior. Omisego has a negative change in behavior where it was leading and it was very constructive, and now it's just been very choppy and all over the place. That's a definite change in behavior. You see these movements upwards in Omisego, very nice, very tight. The volume was always very good. We popped up, we consolidated, we popped up again, consolidated, popped up, consolidated, popped up, and now we're everywhere. Now we're all over the place. There's no good consolidations. The volume is diminished. So there's just not of accumulation in Omisego. So that is a change in behavior, which is why we're out of it. It's just easier to say it's up 2,500%, now it's choppy. That's the easy way. The long way to say it is it's had a change in behavior to the negative, and so we're just going to avoid it until its behavior changes again to the positive. Substratum, no, I have not. If you have a symbol for Substratum, I can't search it. Someone mentioned Civic. I think we looked at Civic yesterday. And yeah, it's really not doing a whole lot right here. Civic is just kind of going sideways. You want to wait until it has some upward movement before you really get into this one. If you want to keep an eye on it, that's fine. So we went down to the 2-hour chart here. There is a declining trend line in place here. So if it wants to break above this declining trend line, right about there. All right, so we've touched this high, we've touched this high. This high was failed. Yeah, so if it breaks above this declining trend line on some volume, that could be good for a trade. But you just have to watch it. You just have to watch it. Sub for Substratum. Looks like I cannot get a chart on Substratum in TradingView. XRP acting very well. I tweeted about XRP yesterday, and it's been doing pretty good. It's just continuing higher and higher. Yeah, so very good. Whatever news is coming out of Ripple, someone mentioned that they had something new coming out of something. It's been doing very well. So this is one of those trades. I put a tweet out the other day that said, you know, you shouldn't be looking for trades. A trade should slap you in the face. This is kind of one of those trades that slapped me in the face right here. We had a symmetrical triangle formation. It broke to the upside. The volume was very good. And Ripple's a leading coin, so you have to pay attention when things like this move. Now, the move isn't going to be crazy on a percentage basis, but at the same time, you have to recognize that this is a leading coin and that it's going to trend, and it's trending right now. So Ripple's doing very well. So let's see what's going on here. BAT, someone mentioned BAT. Oh, going to the downside. Looks like a lot of volume in here. So yeah, I would not be a fan of this. Anytime you have high volume and things start to curl downward, that's not a good sign. Generally not a good sign. So this is an avoid for now. Waves still good for a position. Let's look at waves. Let's look at some waves. Ooh, yeah, this is the one that's holding up sideways. Very nice. I like this. I do like this. We have good volume here. Where's this green volume come into play? Looks like there's a green bar being swallowed up right there. Where does that green volume come into play? Or do I not have my chart set up correctly? Looks like my volume chart is not set up correctly. Color based on previous close. It should be based on previous close. Sorry guys, I'm seeing green volume, but I don't see a green bar accompanying it, so I'm just trying to understand what's happening here. So let me check my settings here. I thought we addressed this issue. I don't want that. Color bars, okay, so it's my price bars that are messed up. Here we go. Okay, so that's the bar. Okay. Now things are a little more clear. So there's some selling up here. This is a pretty wide range bar. That can go either direction. That almost looks like a doji, although it's higher in, which means there's probably quite a bit of buying in this bar. Yeah, wait for volume to increase again. You want this overall pattern to be broken out of quite significantly on volume. This does have a history of running. You went from here from $4 to $5. That's a 25% move. That's pretty good. Maybe you can get another 25 or so % move out of waves here in the future. But again, like we saw with IOP, you want to wait this. You want this thing excuse me. You want to wait for this thing to break out, right? You want to wait for this thing to break out. Because what if you took a position up here expecting this to break out and it just failed quite miserably? So you really need patience, and this is where the patience comes into play. So let's draw. It looks like we have a bigger trend in place here. Kind of see where this trend line leads us. Oh, this trend line is looking fairly interesting here. Okay, okay. Yeah, still needs a little bit more time. Volume starting to come in a little bit here, so that's very good. Hopefully we can flatten out, maybe get a little higher underneath this trend line before we break out. But this could be good for a much larger trade in waves. This is a pretty large consolidation going all the way back to looks like June. So a very large consolidation in wave after a very big run up. We've been, looks like sub 50 cents before, up to $7. So that's a huge run. Elliott wave trading can be pretty good. Elliott wave trading can be pretty good. It is a pretty viable system. I don't trade off of it. I would use it to maybe get a sense of where the market could go. ARK is breaking out. We looked at ARK a little bit ago. I didn't notice really ARK doing much breaking out. Yeah, whatever it's doing, maybe it's doing it on a very short-term chart, 15-minute. Okay, so this is a 15-minute chart of ARK. We have some bottoming action here. We have a run up, and we have a bit of a consolidation up here. Not my favorite pattern, but the volume is declining here, which is indicating a lack of selling, also a lack of buying, and you really want volume to come in here before you can really be aggressive with buying this thing. I would not be aggressive with this here. Yeah, so you go out to the 2-hour chart. They're still kind of, it's just kind of floating around. Not really a lot bullish. That is not a breakout. ZXR. Let's look at ZXR. I don't have ZXR. ZXR? Litecoin, NEO. We already did NEO. NEO looks like it is kind of bucking the trend a little bit. It's set up to go down. It is not. It is going up, so that's good. And that's all we're going to say about that really right now. Let's take a look at Litecoin here. So Litecoin broke down from its symmetrical triangle. This is one of those trades that you wanted to hit you in the face like Ripple did, but it decided to go the opposite direction. And now it looks like we've tested this low here at, was it 50.50? We tested this low here at 50.50. Could be good for a bounce here. The volume is, although it's green, the heavier bars are green, but it's still pretty light volume. Let me check in with my stocks here. Got 2 minutes left to make sure the market's not tanking on me. Boeing is doing really well, going up above this trend line here with Boeing. Proto Labs, not bad. SIVB, I traded that one like crap. That one needs to get $5 higher just for me to break even. And Lope not doing too bad. Okay, there's my stocks. Thanks for putting up with me there. But yeah, Litecoin could be good for a trade coming off of this low here. Definitely is going to have some big resistance into this trend line, but if we can break above this trend line, that could be pretty good for Litecoin. Let's extend this out. Okay, what's going on here? Alright, so we're extending out this Litecoin trend line. So you're going to go from like 51, if this breaks out over here, looking like 52.75. About $1 to that trend line right there. Oops. Okay. So let's take a look at let's look at a few things. Let's see what Bitcoin, up 3% here now. That's good. It's rising. So Bitcoin's head and shoulders just said no thank you and reversed upwards on some pretty decent volume here. So that's good. That's pretty good. The volume isn't great, but it's pretty decent, right? This volume is obviously a little bit heavier, but looks like the selling has subsided and pretty much negated this head and shoulders at this moment in time. So now we're gonna chop around, maybe create another trend line or something, maybe go higher. Looks like we're getting a good run right here. 43.55, not bad, not bad. Ethereum's starting to move, getting a little bit of gumption, nothing too crazy, but I did have a declining trend line broken right here. I did buy some Ethereum on the break of this trend line, and volume starting to come in. We have 2 hours left. Oh, this is a brand new bar. Brand new bar. So the last 2-hour bar just closed, and the volume is pretty good on it. Pretty good. If we can get a little bit of momentum in Ethereum, let's get going. Let's get going. So that's pretty good. XRP now up 10% officially. Very nice. Very nice in XRP. Some good volume. So we are seeing some action here to the upside, which is very good. You should start to be leveling into some of these coins. This is where I would start holding for a little bit of swing trading position. A little bit, though. I wouldn't... I don't know if I put everything in. If you do, you need to watch it like a hawk. I tend to lean in heavy and then watch like a hawk. That's kind of my strategy here. So NEO up 5% now. That's good. Kind of bull flagging out since coming up off of this bottom here at the 29 level. So it looks like it kind of retested not really anything. You could say it retested over here at this level where this volume started to come in down here. So that's good. I'm going to get rid of this inverted head and shoulders markings. Just going to click delete, click delete, click delete, get rid of that bias. We'll get rid of these, get rid of this. So this trend line was broken. This was looks like this was a bear trap. Very nice bear trap here. That was pretty good. Low volume. Have to admit I sold some of my NEO on that one. And then Zcash up 6%. That's not bad. We got Stellar Lumens up 21%. We just looked at that. Numeraire, sorry, up 10%. Very choppy coin. Very choppy. Hard to trade that one. So let's see what's going on down here. Okay, BTS up. Oh, BlockNet up 25%. Let's look at that one. Looks like it just spiked a little bit earlier in the day. Not bad. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Okay, let's go to the daily. Okay, much nicer. Daily is much nicer, much nicer. So 4 hours left on this day until this bar closes. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of increased volume. Nothing crazy though. So I don't know if there's a big trade to be made here at in this BlockNet one. Yeah, IOP no volume. Yeah, kind of breaking down from the trend line here. So let's just wait to see. So the volume's really low here on IOP. That is good. Maybe it flattens out. We need to wait. You need to have some volume before it does anything here, guys. So okay. Check out Ethereum. Okay, so here's Ethereum's wider, kind of larger symmetrical triangle in Ethereum. We talked about this a couple of days ago. I need to do a video on this, do some analysis and some video on this and kind of see where it goes. Yeah, Bowslice, you're pretty much right there. A lot of coins do explode and then they just kind of gradually fall into the price they were before the pump. We do see that time and time again, so it is it's a little tricky to trade those things. That's why you really need to look for good quality coins. Like Ripple isn't one that's going to do that to you, right? Ripple's not going to do that to you. Ripple's a coin. It's a large cap coin. There could be some institutions in Ripple, so it does trend fairly well. You're not going to get massive price accumulation out of it, but at the same time, you're going to get some pretty good moves. You're going to get some good moves, and hey, if you can take Ripple for 10-20% a few times a month, maybe, you're gonna double an account within a number of months, no problem. Just trading a coin like Ripple. I mean, if you get these big pops like this, that it tends to do pretty well. So same with Bitcoin, same with Ethereum, same with Litecoin. All these large cap coins, you're starting to notice a lot of chop on the smaller coins. The big cap coins are going to be that safe haven for you. Did Wings break out? I don't know if I looked at Wings. So if you tell me something breaks out, it means it came out of a consolidation area and it is now starting to go into new highs, whether it be all-time highs or recent highs. This is not a breakout. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. This is a high off of the lows. When you see big moves like this off of lows, these are not breakouts. These are initial pops, and then you need to wait to see it for it to consolidate in a healthy fashion so it can continue higher from there. Let's just go to NIO as an example. I'll show you that NIO is a good example of a high consolidation and then a what I would consider a breakout. So here's your initial pop. So here's your initial pop in NIO right here. You could almost consider this an initial pop as well, and then this would be your consolidation, and this is where you want to buy, right here, and then again right here. Okay, you want to buy at these points where they come out of a high level consolidation that's preferably fairly tight. Like this is very nice tight action on NIO right here, and then that's where you want to buy. And notice that's also where volume comes in. So, you know, these things are not individual. They coalesce together to form a bigger picture, and that's what I talk about. These trades have to smack you in the face. You don't want to go looking for trades. You want to look at charts, and trades should show themselves to you. It should be apparent. And sometimes that can take a while to get the hang of. Okay. All right, guys, I'm calling the Extreme stream a little short today. Sorry about that. I usually eat before I do this, but I was in a pretty long meeting this morning. We can look at Vertcoin, Karen, real quick, no problem. But yeah, I'm gonna call the Extreme stream here. Sorry, guys, just kind of a little distracted today. A lot going on at work, and yeah, Vertcoin not doing too bad. Looks like it did have some kind of a breakout above this 110 area, but it did chop around it. The volume isn't great. I'd like to see better volume, but I wouldn't be interested in it up here. I mean, it's kind of a large wedging consolidation. That's usually not very healthy action. There's better coins out there right now, like Ripple, for instance, sitting up over 10% is a pretty good coin. Just coming out of a little consolidation here. This could be good for a trade out of Ripple. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna head out of here on the Extreme stream. I'm gonna go get some lunch, and yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys later, and have a good day.